Hey Ryan, how are you tonight?
I am terrific as ever, as always. How are you?
I am doing well. It's been a little while since we talked. We should be in Cincinnati by the first week of December, so that'll be good.
It's an early present for my birthday.
Awesome.
I appreciate the thought. Are you going to wrap yourself?
Uh, that
Maybe just a bow?
on that note, I got a text from Pizza Hut today. It was awesome because I love getting these kinds of texts, not because the food's always good, but because I like seeing more of these things. I'm a vegetarian, as I think you know. Um, the text from Pizza Hut that there's going to be Beyond Meat sausage available on Pizza Hut pizzas now, since we're talking about wrapping things. Um,
And sausage is wrapped.
right? Yeah. No. That's the first thing. Sausage casing is the first thing I thought of. So.
Every Christmas, Christopher opens presents under the tree and he just salivates thinking of delicious sausage casings.
Did you never get like what was the meats and cheese? You never got one? Yeah. What farms, something farms. Um,
What?
I don't know.
Oh, the summer sausage?
Yeah, summer
The
sausage.
Pepperidge Farm remembers what it is.
Pepperidge.
You know.
Pepperidge Farms.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yep.
I thought we were talking about like the sausage because man, perfect pizza is like onion, green pepper, sausage.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to try that from them. Yeah,
I'll eat it with you.
Cool.
I am trying to go no cheese, no dairy again.
I'll do one just sauce, no cheese.
No, we don't. I make exceptions. I have been feeling less excited than I am this evening the last couple of weeks. So I have been, mostly because we've been taking breaks and this is the highlight. No, it's not, but I do love it. Anyway, I've been smashing some dairy and it's been awful. So I'm trying to no more dairy again.
Okay, so on to board games now that we haven't really talked about board games at all. Other than the fact that we will soon be able to play them together in person and this
IRL.
And what?
IRL, in real life.
In real life, yeah. And this show will be moving there. And as long as things keep going right, we should be moving into our new house there, which means a space that is dedicated for you and me to do this thing. And Carrie's already designing like what that's going to look like. We're going to have a dedicated like space for the show. Really excited about that.
Nice.
And then the other big news is next week we get a special guest on with us. Hopefully, as long as all that follows through. But he said he would join us, and that's related to my background here. If you can't see it, I'll just say this, and we'll let the people who listen to it figure it out. I have these little 2-inch, a picture of these little 2-inch things that are pink, green, and yellow, and they have an eagle, a bear, and I always forget what the third thing is. Can you tell, Ryan, what the third thing is?
It looks like a lion.
Yes, it is a lion. That's right. So it's a lion, an eagle, and a bear. And if you are a big fan of this game, you'll know what 3 nationalities those represent in the game. It is a historical card-driven war game where you are building a tableau. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to have that designer on with us. Looking forward to that. So,
and if you're watching, they're 2 inches if in real life, but on the screen behind Christopher, if you're listening to scale to him, they're about 3 feet tall.
I know, like if I got hit by one of these, they would totally knock me out if they were actually that big. It would take all day just to move them around.
That would be a good game, though. Very like board game and exercise. These are the things that I like.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't like exercise.
But. Okay. But I see. So tonight we were originally going to talk about a couple of weeks ago, and then moving and all that got in the way. We were going to talk about Halloween-related games, things like that, and we decided to shift it from a little bit of that, but also talk about some of our favorite game experiences, and that's what we're going to focus on in our conversation tonight. So you have a game that you and I have played and that we have played in groups and just together. Is that your new favorite game?
This is my favorite game.
And what game is that?
This is Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. I love Osprey as a company. I just really like what they do. I also love Shut Up and Sit Down, even though I haven't watched any of it in a very long time. But I took the sticker off of the outside casing and put it on the game. That's how much I liked it. I just lowered the street value with the sticker.
I kind of wish I had done that with mine too, because I own that game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this game, you get little individual for people who have not played. You just get a marker and a little book, and there's a couple decks of cards, and you move through a spaceship in the dark, square by square, trying to find the escape panel. And there are aliens and good guys, and some people are the aliens, and some people are the humans. I don't want to say that the humans are the good guys or the bad guys. I don't feel like that's like my distinction to make.
Even though the aliens eat you.
Well, I mean, but you are in outer space, so are you in the aliens area? Because you could be trespassing.
And also, but I think the exact story in there is that there's a virus that that can turn you into one of these aliens, isn't there?
Well, it's an alien plague, that has crept toward the space station and is transforming the human crew into horrendous monsters. And I mean, but who's the bad guys there? That's just nature.
That's just nature.
I mean, that's just the virus. What if? Not really. Yeah, obviously the aliens are the bad guys.
No, I love that game. I think it's a lot of fun. And we were talking about Osprey and how some of their original kind of transition stuff was kind of ridiculous. How I said it was terrible. You said it was
inspired
by Euro. Just as they transitioned from a military.
Military, all of their books are military books. What? Let's talk about U.S. uniforms, 1917 spring colors.
Right.
I've never read any of the books, and I'm sure some of them actually look really interesting, but for the laundry list of books that I will never read, those are very far back.
I actually like some of their books, but it could be. I can see how somebody would consider it very dry historical war game stuff.
Yeah, inspired.
Yeah. Inspired. No, I think that's a fantastic game. So I'm gonna. Have you played any of these three that I mentioned? Well, let's start with this one.
Asterix. I think I just love the concept of playing games at this point.
That's why we're going to be playing games. I'm your vehicle for that. So Mysterium Park came out a few weeks ago. My family and we played it for Halloween. We played it on Halloween, and then we watched some Labyrinth. It was fantastic. Now, I'm not even going to try to sing David Bowie, even though it's running through my head right now.
You're allowed.
No. We talked about this. I also get lyrics really, really wrong. Voodoo, hoodoo, who's the babe? Yeah, right. Do you remember that movie? Have you watched that movie recently?
I don't think I've ever watched that movie all the way through.
Oh my goodness, it is even better as an adult. It is. It's so good.
I watched The Man Who Fell to Earth 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah, how was that?
I almost watched it. I actually just spent an hour picking what to watch. Didn't watch anything and went to bed.
And that is the story of being an adult, right?
I don't have enough time to watch this.
So Mysterium Park is the follow-up to 2015's Mysterium, which
was fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it okay, but I think the trader mechanic in it kind of...
I don't recall the trader mechanic. You're not a trader, the ghost mechanic, the knocking?
Well, man, I guess I haven't played it more.
Yeah, because everybody picks, and then you figure it out, and then everybody has their own mysteries solved, and then at the end of the game, one of those is the real mystery.
Yeah. No, it's not a traitor. It's but in the third round, um,
You have to decide which one was they give you one card and you have to decide which pack of all the players that got
right,
through were
yeah,
the correct one.
right, and in the third, yeah, that sorry, it's not the traitor. It's just that fact that in the third, that's why I haven't played in a while. Is I just got turned off to it because like if people weren't paying attention or if they weren't fully in and your whole group wasn't fully in, and I think it's a great game with like 5 people, 6 people, but
Until
it
your group starts coming up with shorthand for what different cards imply, and there's
all
codes, and
yeah,
then
all
you're
of
like,
that. Yeah. It just gets broken. So last year, Obscurio came out, and if I'm going to play a longer game, I like Obscurio because it's not broken in the same way. And that one does have a trader mechanic, but the trader stays in the whole time. And I'm not a huge fan of werewolf and things like that, but this is Obscurio does more than that, so it has the lightness to it, but it's a longer game like Mysterium. All that to say, of the three, Obscurio is my favorite, but for my family, Mysterium Park at 30 minutes is perfect.
mm-hmm.
Because
What are we doing in Mysterium Park that's different from Mysterium?
um, you just you have a certain amount of rounds and it goes really quickly. You have like um, basically the same thing except the ghost isn't knocking and stuff. Instead, you have to just give your
They,
clues. Go
do they
ahead.
cackle? Does the ghost cackle instead? One
No,
cackle for yes, two cackles for no.
no,
Does
it's
the ghost?
it's more like just Dixit. So if somebody hasn't ever played Dixit, you have so it's also put out by Little um, same company as Mysterium and Dixit, but and they use same artist and art studio for the artwork. So just like Dixit, you put out a card and you say that's the thing that you're looking for, and you do that for each player. You give each
Mm-hmm.
player a card instead of knocking. It's just based on the artwork.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it removes those things of like, oh, if you have this, then I have this type of thing. So
Yeah.
and then it just has to move quickly, and if it doesn't, the game's over, and that's fine. And I think that's perfect for a game like that. So I think that's a great Halloween thing. I think people will probably come back. Plus, the price point is half of what Mysterium is.
Mysterium's a hefty game. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like as hefty as like a lot of games, but it's still got like a lot of art on a lot of cards.
yeah, and I love the art.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't love playing Dixit, but I'll play Dixit because I like the art.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, that's that one. And then my boys and I we played. I don't. We've probably played 6 or 7 times through Horrified last month. Um, and really liked it because it was easy to learn, like 2 pages of rules, and it is cooperative, but it has the universal monsters, like Frankenstein and his bride, and creature from the Black Lagoon and Dracula and so forth. And we watched after they finished school one day, we watched this and watched the old Mummy with Christopher Lee as the Mummy, and oh goodness sakes, he plays Grand Moff Tarkin. I'm not going to be able to think of his name from Star Wars. The actor is the protagonist. Anyways, um, but just a good old time of like, okay, we could play a light game and watch a classic movie and have fun.
So
And
Count Dooku and Grand Moff Tarkin in a movie together.
exactly
Yeah.
back when they were young. Yep. And then my third and final pick, coming back to Osprey Games, since you already had that one. This is Cryptid, and Cryptid is a deduction game where everybody shares some information. So it's a partially shared information of like I might know that the monster or the creature or whatever it is. So cryptid is a creature whose existence is disputed or unsubstantiated. Um, I might know that it's within 2 spaces of water and maybe 1 space of a green structure. I don't even remember what color the structures are right now. But and then you might know something else, and you put down a thing to say yes or no, a marker. And if you say yes, then I have to put down something to give you everybody else information too. And
Okay.
but there is only one winner, so it kind of feels like a cooperative game at times. It doesn't feel aggressive, and that's what's nice about it, especially teaching kids. But it has that like mysterious thing without being, creepy or bloody or gory or any of that
Yeah.
too. So, Um, so on that note, what are some of the best experiences you've had playing games with your family as far as I know, and I know we've talked about or friends because we can go to that.
Yeah. I mean, like me and the family, like our big Halloween game this year has been hide and seek with the lights off. But I have like a 7 and a 3-year-old,
Right.
and my 7-year-old is very much like me, so she
Mhm.
has a very short attention span. I did side note pick up some games from the thrift store
Oh yeah.
uh, recently, and I got Guess Who, which we had a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
And then the other games were a Haba game.
Hmm.
I don't want to dog them. She was disappointed with one of them.
Oh, okay.
She's like, this game isn't very fun, and I'm like, it's not. But
Was
yeah,
it like one of their like math games or something?
no, it was like 4 games in 1. It was something 4 games in 1, and it had really cute art and
Yeah.
cute concepts, but they were all very roll and move.
Yeah.
Expanded worse somehow. Like one was like Candyland-ish, but with a die, but you couldn't finish unless you landed on the color blue. But if you landed on any other color, you went back.
Yeah.
So then you would just have to like hit like if a blue's a 6, like I have to hit a 6, but I also have to hit a 6 when I have to hit a 6, and it's just like this game should end. But I mean, they're fun. My 3-year-old enjoys them.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. I think that game is designed for a younger audience than Toulouse. Yeah.
And then Tallulah, we played Pokemon recently, and she asked me what deck, because I play an Alone Executor deck, because Alone Executor is beauty, best designed Pokemon ever. And she was like, "What are they? What's the?" Or no, I was playing a Pikachu deck this time. She was like, "What's Pikachu weak against?" And I was like, "Fighting, Rock type, for the Pokemon card game." She's like, "Okay." She like thumbs through our theme decks and like grabs a fighting deck and just trounced me, and it was really cute, and I loved it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, favorite gaming memories. Why don't you start? What's your?
I'm going to actually go to one that was at the time a terrible experience, but now that I think of it, because I think this is going to be emblematic for a lot of people. I loved playing Risk when I was younger. I would still play a game like if people actually. I think Risk is like Monopoly. If you actually follow the rules and don't do house rules and although I think I'd probably pick Lord of the Rings Risk or something.
Have you ever seen the movie Kung Pao?
Yes, I don't remember right now.
There's a sign where there's a part of the movie where they said, we trained him wrong because we thought it's funny. And he's like, I lost, or I'm bleeding first, therefore I have won. The person who taught me Risk when I was a young child, I think actually just, he didn't really teach us very well, and he was a very sore loser and kind of just didn't teach us the game and just rolled over us. And I have hated Risk since.
That sounds terrible. Yeah.
Anyway, so Risk. Talk about why you love Risk. Did you teach me how to play when I was 10? Wrong?
No. So I was winning this game. And yeah, I didn't play for a couple years because of this experience, but I don't know why this is a favorite experience. This is kind of weird. Okay, so psychology majors out there, go ahead and take this apart if you want. I was playing with my cousins who used to be close friends. Maybe that's it. That we haven't really hung out much since high school. My cousins who used to be close friends, and my one cousin who was losing. I don't know what was going on that day. Whatever. He ended up flipping the board because he was losing rather than finishing the game. Because I was like, let's just finish the game, and instead he just flipped the board, threw all the pieces and went home. And I don't know. I don't know why that. Maybe maybe it's just that it stands out in my memory, but it actually made me want to play games more after that. Other games. Maybe that's what it is. Is that it made me start checking out.
People are having a field day with this right now. The psychiatrist out there, the psychologist. Man
I don't
enrages opponent till he flips a board. Man finds love of board games.
And now I'm trying to start a show about it.
New working title, Table Flip.
That's one of the first things that they teach you in Tabletop Simulator is when you get done. Here's how you flip the board or flip the table. And
when we used to play test a lot, for the game I worked on a long time ago, we would flip the table a lot.
Yeah. So
one of my yeah.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say like that, and then like playing checkers and chess with my dad when I was younger are like some of my earlier like gaming memories. Playing with my grandma when she would we played house rules, firehouse rules, because my grandpa was a lieutenant at Fort Wayne at the firehouse, and so called everything that was house rules firehouse rules. Playing oh goodness, there's a million names for it, but the thing where the board looks like a plus sign, and you have
Parcheesi?
it's
Triple
basically Parcheesi, but you have marbles that are chasing each other around, and you can knock the other marbles out. It's basically Parcheesi.
Okay.
But playing that, and how my grandma would laugh as she would beat us badly at that game and knock us out. And again, I guess somebody can deconstruct that, but I enjoyed playing it. So what were you going to say?
You were like, I beat my cousins like Grandpa beat us.
The funny thing is, those are on different sides of the family.
Oh, so they didn't even know the pain that Grandpa brought in Parcheesi.
So, but what were you going to say? What's a memory you have?
Well, so I was sitting at table 1 of an L5R tournament for Gen Con. Years and years ago. I was cosplaying, which I vowed never to do again. And I was playing a very defensive deck that negated what people did. And I was playing against a gentleman from Sweden, Switzerland. I don't know. Like, I'd seen him at tournaments. We were cool. You know, he was playing a unicorn deck, so they're like fast. Anyway, my deck's really grindy. And it pretty much just stops what people are doing is like what it does. I play a card that says you can't really impact me. Then I play another card that says anytime somebody performs an action, I get +1 to my strength. So he attacks my last area for the win. I've got like one guy defending or something, or I've got a couple places he knocks some stuff out, and I have like one region left. If he destroys it, he wins.
Yeah.
I've got one guy with 7 strength, and he has like 44 strength on the board. So first action, like, you can't really mess with my guy. So his first action, he passes. He has no reason to do anything. He's winning. So I'm like, second action, every action after this, I get a force bonus. So now I'm at 8 force. Actually, like 10, because the other action gave me +2. And he's like, well, I pass. I'm like, all right. I bring a guy into the battle. I'm at 18 force. He's like, I pass. And I'm like, okay, I kill one of your guys. You're now at 37 force. He's like, I pass, because he's still winning. And this goes on. And the deck was also really good at drawing cards. It would be like, draw 3 cards, pick one, play an action, play one of those cards, which is 2 actions, so that nets me 2 more force. So all this is going on. We're at table 1, which is the first place table. Asterix, it was the first round. I had led, like, they would in L5R, they used to do like a chant at the beginning of the tournament, and one of the organizer asked me to do it, and I was like, okay. Like, I don't really want to, but yeah, this is cool, I'll do it. So we're going back and forth. It gets down to it. He has no actions left on the board. I'm winning. Now he's going to be depleted. Once this battle's done, he'll have nothing left on the board. It will be my turn, and I will just steamroll him and win. No actions left on the board. I'm winning the battle. He's got 1 card in hand. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And it was something retreat. and all of his units go home.
Oh no.
And like my guys would die at the end of the turn. They get to stay in the combat, but they'll die at the end of the turn.
Uh-huh.
So I pretty much like, instead of me wiping his force, like a lot of my force just died because they were going to die anyway. Yeah. Because I probably would have won through, you gain honor anyway. He plays his retreat card, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, I've lost. Like, I know I lost. He knows he won. Not yet, but he'll win like in 2 turns. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I just lost to a retreat. I don't know, maybe it's a weird story, but we like high-fived and had a great time.
What were you cosplaying as?
I was cosplaying as, there's a card, and it was called Furious Assault. If you want to find it, you can put the artwork up.
Okay.
It was a very popular card in all formats, for a lot of formats for the game. And it was a Crab Clan samurai type person, and it was in my deck.
Uh-huh.
But if you remember Seven Samurai,
yeah,
I forget his name, but the guy who wasn't actually a samurai, who wears the loincloth,
yeah,
and has a top knot,
yeah,
that's what I cosplay as. But I made wooden sandals at the time, and I put the kanji for air on my sandals.
So, did you have enough hair to have a top knot at that
I
time?
did have enough hair at the time to have a top knot.
Okay.
However, I wore this costume at a previous national tournament, regional tournament, and I got a lot of, like, people liked it. It was actually pretty divisive, and I wasn't certain if I wanted to wear it to Gen Con. And that's the reason I won't ever cosplay again, is because, like, they have, I mean, this would have been 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't out of shape. But I'm a hairy guy, so I had waxed my back for the regional, but I didn't wax my back for Gen Con. And I got like, a lot of really unsolicited, rude commentary about my body. I mean, like, it was exhausting. And I was like, and then I actually got some flack from some of the game designers during the costume contest, which they moved the day of. So it was supposed to be Saturday or Friday or something. Mm-hmm. So I go up for the costume contest in the tournament, and then they moved the costume contest to another day. And I actually drove back I drove home, got like 4 hours of sleep, and then drove back 2 hours back to Indianapolis to do the costume contest. And then I got like flack from like the people, and they're like, what are you? And I'm like, I'm literally card art from like your most popular played card right now. Like, it's an action card. Anyway, that's my big rant about never cosplaying again. Yeah. I mean, I was super, like, people would be, they'd be like, the most common comment would be like, actually, never mind.
Yeah. we'll move on. I think that's important, though, in the sense of like, what's not a good experience at a con for people is going back to one of the values that I think we talked about in the first and second episodes of that whole gatekeeping thing can be really strong at cons sometimes, of like, hey, if you're not this, then you're not a real gamer or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, and nobody has a problem with, like, especially nowadays, and it's a lot more acceptable nowadays than it was back then, but, like, I've been going to cons since I was, like, 16, and there's a lady that was always in a chainmail bikini, and nobody walks by and body shames her, and she's been doing that for 20 years or more, you know? And there was a guy that was in very good shape that was walking around shirtless in, like, a Conan outfit, and nobody was body shaming him. I mean, like, I wasn't, like, out of shape. I just had some back hair,
right?
You know, and it's just like, and that's like the problem that I have, and I don't deal well with attention when I don't want it,
right?
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it definitely, like, more power to cosplayers these days and stuff like that. But if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, people.
Right. Yeah, I think it goes the same way at the table, though, right? I think we can. Yeah, no, I totally hear you and agree with that. I don't think cosplaying is going to come up as often for board gamers, especially right now without cons going on. But
Yeah.
as it will when there's cons going on.
And I mean, I smack talk at the table. Like, that's one of my favorite things. I like having a good laugh.
For sure.
I think my newest favorite insult was a friend of mine named Ryan. We were playing, I think, what's it called? The sequel, Blood Rage, but the
Rising Sun.
Rising Sun. We were playing Rising Sun.
Yeah. Yep.
And and he was doing really bad. And he said, and he was getting kind of down on himself. And I said, "Don't worry, man. It's just a hobby." And that's like my new go-to. Or, you know, if you do well, I like to talk about how dice love me and stuff like that. And so I have like a couple of sayings like, you can't stop hot dice. So you're playing a game. You're like, oh, I need a 10 to get this. Get a 10, can't stop hot dice. Like, what do you guys think, you know? Game's pretty easy as long as you roll well. So
which
pretty
is
much
hilarious
everything that I play.
Like that's the one thing that I think can get under my skin because I hate randomness sometimes. Anyways,
I mean, I play games and I get, you know, I've been playing a lot of Blood Bowl, and you can get triple skulls, triple ones.
Yeah.
And I played a game, and my first drive, this was like 3 weeks ago. I've been playing online. 3 skulls on my first action, which means my turn's over.
Yeah.
First turn of the game. So I'm like, oh God, I got to re-roll that.
Yeah. I
re-roll it. 3 skulls and a 2, which is the same thing because my character doesn't have the ability to negate 2s. So 5 1s and a 2 on my opening roll, you know, and I'm starting the game on the back foot. I don't get mad. You know, I'm like, well, this game just got a lot more interesting for me. Because you can't stop hot dice.
Oh, randomness. Yep. I mean, eventually it all evens out, but I think that's the thing in games, right? Is that really what I think is hard? This is more like on mechanics, right? Like if you want a game to get rid of the randomness of dice, you have to make it longer than most people are willing to play most games.
Or you just have to play more games, because then you can get the the randomness evens out.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. You gotta.
Most people don't have that kind of patience.
If you hate dice rolling and you want to hate it less, you should play Blood Bowl with me.
Okay, I'll play Blood Bowl. I don't hate it as much as I used to.
It's punishing, and Blood Bowl will make you think that the dice hates you. And a lot of players in Blood Bowl, not me, I'm just bad.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that they're good, and then they think that the dice hate them. But really, Blood Bowl is about mitigating dice rolls,
right?
Rolling high. And that's the thing is with randomness, you have to mitigate randomness, and you have to recoup when it doesn't go your way.
Right. And that's the difference between a good game and like just a straight up push your luck game. Although, in fact, I'll talk about this in a second, but like a straight up push your luck game is just dice rolling, and that's it. Without
and then you can't stop hot dice.
So on that note, one of my best. So I'm going to talk about 2 experiences I had up in Michigan up here. We played Can't Stop one time, which I've probably played more than any other game, for the simple fact that I can play on Board Game Arena, and so when I'm bored at night, you know, and just do whatever, I used to play on my laptop all the time. So I've played hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games of Can't Stop. But anyways, I was playing.
Tell us about Can't Stop real fast, because I have no idea what this is.
Never played Can't Stop? Okay, so Can't Stop's been around, I don't know, 30 years, maybe 40 years, and it's just a straight up push your luck game where you try to get doubles. See, I've played hundreds of times and I've never really thought about it.
Is it a song?
No,
I'm making a joke about song lyrics.
So you have this like pyramid looking thing, and on some of them, you know, the little guys are climbing the Swiss Alps. On another one, it's just a big stop sign. But in it, you roll the dice. Oh no, you're not rolling doubles. You can roll doubles. You can roll any combinations, but you're rolling 2 6-sided dice, and you pick them, and you have to say, okay, I'm taking you could either be like, I'm taking a 5. What do you see? I'm explaining this all wrong. Um, um, that's funny. I haven't played Can't Stop in 4 months, and I've probably played that game more than any other. Okay, so it came
Now
out
you
in
sound like me.
I know it originally came out from Parker Brothers, and so you roll 4 dice, not two. The reason I said two is I usually pick two. So you roll your 4 dice, and then you can pick, like, if I rolled 1, 4, 5, 6, I could pick the 1 and 4 to be a 5. So you roll a 1, 4, 5, 6. You could use a 1 and 4 and a 5 and 6, or you could just use one set, right? As long as you use at least one set. That's what you have to always use. At least one set of what you rolled. So if I roll those and I choose to use the 5, then I move it up on the track,
Mhm.
and then I roll again. If I didn't get a 5, then I have to use some combination of 2 dice or something else, and I can either then keep going and try to get that 5. And let's say I picked a 10 the next time, I have to either get the 5 and the 10 if I choose to keep going, or I can just stop.
So it's like Shutterbox, but for multiple players with more dice.
Yeah. So you're just constantly pushing your luck. So we came up with this whole thing based on, like, there's a mythos on uh do you know what Atlas Obscura is? Have you
Mhm.
ever heard of that?
Yeah. Know
So
that.
there's stories about different places in the world and stuff. There's this whole mythos about Saugatuck and how there's these mole people that came across in the alternate dimension Saugatuck, Michigan, of mole people who came underwater to found a new land in Saugatuck, Michigan, and we started that, and we went
Would
on.
those be cryptids?
Yeah, bring it back full circle. And the whole thing, it got just really silly, and Cthulhu came into it, and, like, the blessings of Cthulhu were bestowed on the dice. And one of the people playing, Joseph, decided that, like, there was this whole thing of, like, well, you could do this but not this to push your luck, and if you did this, then you had the blessings of Cthulhu. And we played the game, and it was ridiculous, and there was just a lot of laughter, and it made for a great experience. But, like, we turned a 20-minute game into, like, a 50-minute game with this whole mythology, and that was
Love
what.
that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. um
I mean, the dark goat of the woods with 1,000 young lives in Mount Airy Forest. And if you lose a disc while playing disc golf, that's a sacrifice. And it will
okay,
bestow blessings.
I like that kind of sacrifice. That's a good sacrifice.
Yeah.
Versus, like, the bloody kind.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. And then the other experience I was going to bring up in Michigan was, we've talked about Twilight Imperium and fourth edition and all that. There's a little mini con that they do at a college here, like, I don't know, maybe 70 guys, run by a friend who's a math professor, and I ended up playing TI4 for the first time up here with two of my friends, one who had worked at the game store, and I lost by 1 point, like that. How that game often goes, it's very
Mhm.
close. Um, but just fantastic time because he was prepared for the game, and since then I've gotten to play it a couple more times, and I really enjoyed it, and I think that's what's necessary for that game, especially because people, I think, get it in their heads that, like, oh, this is this huge game that can be overwhelming and take too much time. I think the preparedness and knowing what was going on, I think if everybody approaches it knowing what's going on, that makes that game really, really fun.
Yeah.
So
You remember the game that I played that I forgot the name of again? Um, that you corrected, that was like 13 hours long. It was a GMT game, and was it the Virgin
oh
Queen? It
oh
wasn't.
good, the
Anyway,
yeah, the Virgin Queen one,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, before I played that, I had a printout of the rules specifically noted for the rules that impact me the most, and reviewed them
Yeah.
before I played, because yeah, that's how or you watch John's videos before you play.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
Yeah, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
John.
I mean, and going back to that, like, I I've gotten to play Dune Imperium. Not Dune Imperium. That's the new one coming out, but Dune, and then Rex Imperium a few times before that. Um, every single time I've played that game, I love it. It's not the mechanics in that game. I mean, what do you like that game?
Dune.
Like the original Dune, and they just reprinted it, so I finally own it.
I have. I mean, I like Imperium, Rex, Fall of the Empire, or whatever.
Yeah.
Rex, I own that too. I would rather. I haven't played the Dune. I want to. I saw that had come out, and I was pretty excited about it, but then I didn't pick it up. I've only read the first book of Dune, but I'm kind of a little bit of a Dune fanboy, maybe.
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed when they pushed the movie back to next
Yeah,
year. I mean,
it
I
was
understand.
come out on my birthday or around my birthday, but instead I get you.
Well,
so I guess it's all right.
I can wear a dry suit and
a rebreather.
And a rebreather, and
we'll walk single file.
Yeah.
To obscure our steps. Muad'Dib, Muad'Dib.
Yeah. Sharing the spice.
Yeah. Drink from the waters.
Of the universe. Yeah. Oh no, we can't.
We do not condone spice usage. No melange.
I don't even know. I'm sure somebody creative could come. No. If you aren't familiar, listener or watcher, spice is essential to Dune. It is not a real thing.
Yeah, no. And if you're a young listener or watcher, when I was, I was a 16-year-old nerd. And I remember hearing about Dune the book, and thinking, who wants to read a book about spice or even watch the movie with Sting on a sand planet with worms? Like, what is this, like Beetlejuice for boring people? And I read the book like for the first time 6-8 years ago, and I was just like mind blown. This was so good.
I mean, it's really about like how
who controls the spice controls the universe.
We'll leave it at that. Sure. It's really about how fundamentalist movements get going, and but
you know what though? Like, I read Starship Troopers, and there's a lot of stuff to get into with Heinlein's work, and
yeah,
I don't. Sometimes I just enjoy a book, and then like afterwards, I'll be talking to somebody about it, be like, "Yeah, it's a really big take on like authoritarianism," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I didn't even."
I really liked when they shot the bugs, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just enjoying this book. The Forever War, really enjoyed that one. But it's just like there's like a lot to digest. But I should probably just join a book club.
Yeah, a book club for. So going back, but the real part of the reason that I thought of it, I wasn't even going to think about Dune, but I honestly, every experience I've ever had playing that game, I've loved it, including, and I am including Rex Imperium. It's just a ton of fun. But you had that "shut up and sit down" sticker on there, and they have a hilarious episode where they review the new Dune board game, including where they where they have a still suit and a rebreather, and they they also get in like a tan colored sleeping bag and pretend to be a sandworm.
I should definitely watch. I haven't watched any of their videos since. When did the store shut down? Since then.
Yeah.
Great content.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I guess that's my word of the night. I think every time we do that, we should ring a bell. Maybe we have a.
Is the word of the night fantastic?
Yeah, I guess that's the word of the night. Every episode we can have a word of the night. Next season.
Was it rebreather gift?
So there it is, everybody. I will be wearing a still suit, a rebreather, and a bow.
And that's my birthday. I'm excited. 38's gonna never felt so good.
Well, we're almost done for this episode. Any other experiences you want to share with the dear watchers, dear listeners?
This is similar to your story with your cousins. My wife is a very, very good card player. Like, I don't know if she plays like poker or anything, but she's like pretty cutthroat, like Rummy. We used to play like Rummy, and we had like a running score going into like the thousands probably at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I've used to play Euchre, and by used to play Euchre, I played Euchre once in Boy Scouts driving to Marengo Caves in like a truck. So there's like the back bench seat and the front seat, and the driver's playing, and there's 4 of us. And it's the only time I played Euchre. It was moderately safe. He just kind of looked at his hand and was like, "What's on the?" We just kind of were patient with him on this 4-hour drive.
Okay, so he it was just more like he was playing chess by mail, but it was Euchre. Okay.
Yeah. So my wife and I, and she had played Euchre like maybe once. We went camping like 10 years ago. Oh God, more than 10 years ago, like 15 years ago. And we were camping and we were playing Rummy, and Two Hand Spades is another one that we played a lot of. And this couple next to us in the campsite were talking to us, and they're like, "Do you guys know how to play Euchre?" And I'm like, I've only played once. Told them Boy Scout story. And my wife's like, "I'm kind of familiar, but I haven't really played it." So they were like, "Oh, well, we're pretty good at Euchre, if you guys want to play." And we just smashed them. Just blew them out. And they were so mad. They thought like there wasn't money on the line, but there was like accusations. Like, were you guys just,
yeah,
hustling us? And we're like, no. So like with your cousins and raging people.
Yeah, no, like it's just going. I think what it was is like it was just going really well, and it had nothing to do with me. So I was really confused when he got upset and flipped it. Probably like this Euchre thing, like you just did well, right? And so you were enjoying the experience of going well, and then you're greeted with this weirdness of like somebody explosively.
I've had that experience, and I feel really bad for it because I don't pick up the cues that people aren't enjoying my bravado and stuff. But it's like my enjoyment, like because I'm always playing myself,
right?
Like I'm always trying to do what I want to do well,
right?
So, and I've tilted players before, and I really try not to nowadays. I try to be more cognizant of like people's feelings at the table because I've had instances, and that's not to say that like I was just a negative play experience all the time. But people have days, and yeah. So I think it's important to be aware. But also, you can be hype. Like they're dice. Don't get mad at the dice. It's not the dice's fault. You're the one that rolled them. Learn how to cheat. Drop dice.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's just a hobby.
It's just a hobby.
Stop. Always be fouling. That's the other one in the game. Always be blitzing with the ball. Always blitz with the ball carrier. Always be fouling. Can't stop the dice. We
are going to do. So more promises of things that we're going to try to do because right now the videos that are mainly getting the most play because it's mainly what I'm putting up on the YouTube channel are unboxing videos because they're easy for me to do. I have a template and I throw them in there and all that. But we're going to do a little live unboxing fun here between you and me of Nippon Rails. Am I saying that right? I don't know. It's about Japan. Right, so this is the old Mayfair one. Evidently, Asmodee found or finally worked out their contract of how to buy out the old warehouse of Mayfair stuff. Like this is original print stuff here.
Ooh.
Because this is copyright 2011.
Are you gonna break the seal on that?
I just did. I just undid it.
Out of shrink.
It is out of shrink because we're gonna do. This is one that I'm hoping to do a live playthrough with you. Here's the box. We're going to see what's in here, see if it smells. And then I'm going to close it right back up so you can smell it.
Oh, yeah. Don't let too much of that sweet
crayon
new game smell escape.
So basically what I was told, because I don't know anything about crayon rail games, is pick based on maps. And since, here's a page from 2011 stuck in here, and it looks like it was printed in 2011. It says play Empire Builder on computer with Ebb Pronto. Look at that. This is original Mayfair stuff. And it has that smell. Oh man, it is crazy. Like this is original stuff. But I was told pick whichever crayon game you want to based on the map. And I love like Japanese culture and stuff. And one of my dreams is to do the samurai sword walking tour someday in Japan, where you go and see the old masters like make them. Anyways,
I would not cosplay for that.
no. Yeah, no. Man,
I'm the guy from Seven Samurai.
the pixelation on the back of this instructions is like 70 DPI or something like that. It's pretty bad. Okay, so there's that. Some rules. I'm about to.
All right, let's see that board.
I know. I'm good. I'm good. Good.
Oh,
Some
no,
more
yeah.
rules.
Oh no, sorry. I'm excited.
Oh,
Ooh,
this
that looks like you can.
It's textured.
Oh, like that faux leather emboss.
It is. Yeah. And
You can just flip that over on your coffee table, and on the other side, and then it looks like you have a fancy.
I don't
coffee.
know if I can show you how big this is because.
Oh, it's in pieces.
In piece, it's like a
It's
mini
a puzzle.
It's a puzzle board.
It's 2 games in 1. How do they?
Oh.
Before you play this game, you have to assemble it. It's like a miniatures game, but it's actually a puzzle.
for your maximum enjoyment. Basically, okay. So I was going to try to show you how big these were, but
are they all the same size?
They're all the same size. So there's 6 of them.
All right, well, let's just do a little math. Hold that up.
Okay.
So it's about. I have 4 inches here.
I think they're about.
That works. I got this scrap plexi.
I think each one is about 8 by 12 or so. So that would put it at 6. I don't know. Is it going to be 16 by 36? 18 by 36 maybe?
Okay. Ooh, I got 2 feet.
It might just fit.
By 18. 24 by 18.
So I don't know that it will fit.
All right. Well, yeah, I went through my scrap plexi, and the big piece that I had, it's not as big as I remember.
I did not know that board would be that big. I'm not going to open the crayons so that the smell is preserved in there. Yeah, these are old Empire Builder crayons that have like 4 different colors in them now because they're that old. If I open this bag, they're probably going to crumble.
I mean, it's like a crayon erase board probably, but you wouldn't want to do that to the board.
Yeah.
Think of like the resale.
I never figured out these little pieces that look like, we'll say little hats with cones on top.
I've seen those before in like loose areas of like the gaming libraries and stuff, so that makes sense.
Okay. And then a ton of cards.
Unidentifiable piece. Look for the train game.
I'm going to open some cards up here because I love opening cards and judging the quality of them.
I haven't played a train game since junior high, so I'm pretty excited. I mean, like, except for maybe like an RPG.
These are absolutely terrible quality cards.
You just got to get the dark colored sleeves and sleeve them.
But I mean, the color printing on them is fine. Actually, the color printing on these is better than the quality on the rules. But they're really thin paper, no vinyl, like super super thin. So I'm still looking forward to playing the game with you.
Does John have a refresher for Empire Builder games?
I don't know. I will look. I'm sure somebody somewhere out there does.
I only want to watch John's.
Only want to watch John. Yeah. I'm really impressed by this paper being in here from 2011.
I bought my wife a Betty Crocker cookbook, and it had a whole bunch of coupons in the back that expired in 2006.
Nice.
I was like, well, this doesn't help me.
My microphone's falling out here. So, yeah, we're going to have some awesome experiences gaming this winter.
Corn families.
Yeah. Corn families. So, thanks for talking, and I will catch you later. See you, Ryan.
Bye.